Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. You know, most of us want to avoid failure, but we can learn a lot from the experience. Failure can teach us what matters most to us. It can point to what we need to be successful, but in my mind, it helps me figure out what exactly I need to work on. Sort of like my in-idiot light. I got them flashing all the time. Hey, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, that'd be great. Today's episode is, you guessed it, dealing with failure, but the right way. I'm Jeff Mohr. I'm the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw. Okay, so this is an article written by Nick Morgan, PhD. This was posted on August 3rd of 2023, and it's about how to deal with failure. Failure is inevitable. It's how you respond to it that counts. It's important to remember that failure is a normal part of life, and that it doesn't mean you're a failure. It's key to allow yourself to feel emotions. Don't try to bottle up your disappointment or anger. Anyone who speaks, either professionally or for one's job, experiences a failure of attempted communication, at least occasionally. The audience isn't right for the speaker, the topic isn't right for the audience. The audience was having a bad day. The speaker was having a bad day, and Mercury was in retrograde. There are an endless set of possibilities, reasons why things can go less than perfectly. The 80-20 rule surely applies, whether it's 80% of the audience, or 80% of the talk, or 80% of something else. Speaking, like any other human endeavor, doesn't always reach 100%. Failure is part of life. The relevant question for speakers, and for all of us, is how do you deal with failure when it occurs? As a recovering perfectionist, I have a number of options. I can stress out and ruminate endlessly on what went wrong. I can beat myself up for my part in the debacle. I can try to pretend that nothing happened. I've tried each of these over the years, and a few more besides, and I can tell you that they don't work. Of course, they don't work. And yet many of us respond in these ways over and over again, trapped by our perfectionism. How to deal with failure. What you need to do instead is to understand what went wrong as dispassionately as possible. Decide what to do differently the next time and move on. If apologies are in order, make them heartfelt and timely. The key here is the part about moving on. If you don't process the failures cleanly, you'll find yourself like a ship with its hull covered in barnacles, moving slower and slower, unable to navigate gracefully through the waters ahead. Worse, the next time you're in a similar situation, in a moment looks weirdly like the failure moment to your unconscious mind, which never forgets, by the way, especially pain. You will suddenly find yourself distracted, at the very least, by your brain saying, "Uh-oh, things are about to go horribly wrong." That will compound the agony, and matters will quickly get worse. 3 ways to deal with failure. There are better ways. A study from a decade ago that I recently ran across finds the acceptance of self-compassion, positive reframing, and humor are the 3 most effective ways to deal with failure. These are the techniques I can get behind, even though I'm not great at them. Number 1, acceptance and self-compassion. You will know best how to talk to yourself, but some form of acceptance and forgiveness of yourself as a unique, valuable, and fabulous human being is what's needed. There are many books, online courses, and psychologists out there ready to help. Do the work. It's important. As the self-help cliche has it, the airplane safety talk is right. Put on your own oxygen mask first. Number 2, positive reframing can help make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. The idea here is to find something, anything, that did go well or can be spun into a positive. Don't fool yourself, but don't overdo the doom and gloom in the first flush of failure either. As a wise person, maybe on Facebook, shared with me once, it's the broken places where the light comes in. Humor is a great gift if you can summon it. Lightness allows you to rise above the slough of despondency and sail on serenely. Laughing at others' pratfalls is something I leave to your discretion. The point is that once you can laugh at failure, it is no longer terminal and you are ready to move on. Failure is not fun, but if you can progress forward using one of these techniques, you are much better placed to survive it, learn from it, and evolve into a being of light that you are destined to become. And that's from Nick Morgan, PhD. He is the president of Public Works, Inc., a communications consulting company, and author of books including Can You Hear Me? And How to Connect with People in a Virtual World. Well, if you made it with me this far, I'd like to just share a few of my little discoveries, if you will. My discoveries are failures are, to me, the absolute constant in what I do for a living. Failure is every single cut is a failure. And I'll tell you why. So I'm a chainsaw carver, and if you don't know that, then, well, now you do. And so because I use a chainsaw, I have to remove material. And a lot of times, until you get to that point where everything is going to be critical, you're still erasing or trying to fix what you just broke or what you just messed up on. You know what I'm saying? So every cut is a mistake until you reach the point of abandonment, and that's the way I look at it. I don't see it any other way. As far as adding lines and shadow and depth, and you can, with paper and pen or whatever your medium is, but with an art form of removal, it's sort of like every cut is a mistake until you put the saws down, you get it close as you can, and then you'll just see how well you did or how poorly you did. And in that regard, as far as artistry is concerned, and as far as what I do for a living and what a lot of other people do for a living, a lot of people watching this video right now are chainsaw carvers, aspiring chainsaw carvers, possibly some, advanced chainsaw carvers or chainsaw artists, and then there's, people that are just getting into it. So this is my take. This is my, as far as failure is concerned, I believe that if you don't fail, you literally can't learn anything. It's impossible to get out of your own way. You have to fail. You just set yourself up for it, I guess. And I think mistakes are so critical in fact that I don't know how to carve without making them. I rely on those mistakes. I think it's because they piss me off. And that when I get pissed off, I get motivated. When I get motivated, I get more focused, and I'm looking beyond the mistake into the, I've been doing this a long time. This is going to be, it's going to be 35 years. So I've been doing it a long time, and I'm just curious to see how long it's going to take me before I just give up. It's already taken 35 years. I don't think it's going to happen, but I do feel a lot like when I have students here, you need, I'm teaching them how to fail in a way that is more positive. It's a better way to go. It's a better way to look at your work. I think it's critical to look at your work as a failure and also as an improvement. So you have to pick out the things that you definitely know you've improved on, and then take your butt back to school and just study whatever the thing is that you're trying to carve, or whatever you're trying to paint or draw or whatever, and get better acclimated to your tools. Failure is, I think it's like art. One guy thinks that this carving might be really crappy. Another guy thinks it's beautiful and he wants to buy it for his wife, So it's all subjective, right? So failure is also subjective, but you also have to be honest with yourself and just say, hey, I know I can improve here. But when you honestly can't answer those questions where you can improve, it's important to have somebody that you look up to and respect in the business, whatever business it is, to help you understand where you went wrong or where you could have done a little better, or maybe even just give you a little pat on the back after the critique. Not that you would have to ask them to pat you on the back. I'm just saying a lot of times it's really nice to be recognized for the good things we do and not just called out and lambasted for the things that we do wrong. So in the world of art, who cares? Who cares? All right, my name's Jeff Mohr. I'm glad you stuck around with me this long. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know I did. And I like making them. So thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.